Our speaker today probably needs no introduction, but she is just a remarkable person. Dr. Sharon Desmoulin-Kherat is a distinguished leader in education with a career spanning from teaching to administration. She earned her doctorate from Illinois State University after starting as a middle school teacher. Dr. Desmoulin-Kherat has served as principal at Whittier Primary School and Manual High School. Currently, she is the superintendent of the Peoria Public Schools. In 2025, she was awarded the Illinois Superintendent of the Year and was finalist for the National Superintendent of the Year Award. Her vision for 21 through 26 is to reimagine schools to ignite student passion, and that she has done, emphasizing community involvement in education. I've got to tell you on a personal note, she is beautiful inside and out. She only cares for what's best for kids, and that's why we love her so much. So Dr. Kherat, please come up.
Thank you. Good afternoon, everyone. Good afternoon. So good to see you. Mr. Meisinger was one of my mentors as well. As you know, he has been a long time principal at Richwoods and done very, very good work there. So we're continuing his legacy. And congratulations to you. Your grandson, Shane, graduated from Reservoir Gifted. That kid, I've seen him from a little boy, and he's taller than him right now. Yeah, just handsome and a great golfer as well. I think he's gone through state several times. I just took a pic at the podium and sent it to your daughter, Beth. We're always back and forth in emails in a good way. So the scooter button, I was a little sad about that. I'm like, they're scooting out, they won't hear me. But not very many, I think maybe one or two left. Then what else? I love your platform, Literacy, and I'll share with you what we're planning to do next year. And then I also love, I have fallen in love with the 4-way test from the very beginning of time that I've been introduced to it. It's very, very, very good, very powerful. So thank you for continuing that. And then just thanking all of you for committing to this club and making a difference in life and society and kids. So thanks. Before I get started, I wanted to share, would you like to get a glimpse of what I did today? Just my calendar, I left my phone. So I thought that would be fascinating. Jeffrey asked me if I had a presentation, and I thought about it and thought, no, my board doesn't really like a lot of PowerPoints. And so I'm like, well, I will just have a conversation. So feel free to ask questions as well. And I'm here until what time?
Up till about 1:05.
Okay, 1:05. So today I started off, got to work at about 7:15, went down to Tree Wind because there's a teacher who's retiring. Actually, this is the last week, right? This is the last week for kids, and I worked with Molly Gray. When I was at Whittier, I was principal at Whittier for 8 years, Blue Ribbon School, had a great time, great families, great kids. And just great success, high poverty, high performance school. Got an award from, at the time, Margaret Spellman. Some of you probably remember, Secretary of Education. Had to go to Washington, D.C. for that. So anyway, Molly Gray was a pre-K teacher there, and she's retiring. And I'm like, she did such a nice job. I noticed her name on the list. I wanted to say hello. So I ran to give her a big hug because I had to go down to Annie Jo Gordon, which is very close, right? Very close to True Wind, and we were doing some videos for next year for our convocation, and I'll tell you a little bit about that. And then talk to a teacher. I wanted her to get into a graduate program. We're building our bench to fulfill the administrative pipeline. So I encouraged her to join the Rockford Master's Degree Program. So talk to her about that. Then I went to Lincoln because another one of my parents, she was a stay-at-home parent at Whittier and did a lot. She wrote grants. We had a Madam Curry Club. She wrote a grant to get funding for kids to do, especially girls, for science. And and then the kids went to school, and then she went back to school, ended up taking an ESL position with Peoria Public Schools, worked with PPS for over 20 years, again, Friday is the last day, so I wanted to give Marcy Tupper a big hug. And so I did that and wrote a nice card. Then I saw you had some AI. We're doing some things with our teachers. It's Your Way platform that they can use, because there's a lot around teacher morale and the workload, and did a lot of work last year for a union around that, and how can we, I'm like, the workload is the workload is the workload, but you can use AI and this platform for educators to help you with your lesson plans. So instead of spending, half an hour, whatever it takes, you can use this platform. It can be an assistant for you. So we got an update on that. So that, and it can do so much for them. It can, oh, I see, is that, anyway, it can customize, differentiate, do quite a bit of things for them. So we got an update on that. Then there were some issues going on, so I had a 10 o'clock to discuss several issues, listen like that. And then our controller turned in her resignation. I got it last night, which is great. She took her job closer to her hometown because she was driving into Peoria. We have a plan for that, so had a conversation about that. I had an interview with WMBD this morning, today at 10:30. We talked about the end of the school year and what we're looking forward to, and teacher shortage, which is a huge deal, and what we're doing. PPS, we're doing so much around that. When I came in 2015, we had over 108 teacher openings. I mean, it was crazy, and I'm like, oh my God, what am I going to do, Lord? Because people aren't applying for jobs, and so I ended up hiring a recruiter, ended up doing the exchange program. I'm sure you guys heard about the exchange program, and we're the only school district, actually, state of Illinois, that we are a visa-sponsored district. Usually, what we're doing is Department of Education's that's doing that. And so we're given about 289 visas, and we can actually literally, which we have done, 189 international teachers from over 16 countries. And so we fulfilled our vacancies. And then we're providing, we have an access, so we're like a host school, and we provide support for other districts. So we have 12 districts in the state of Illinois, including Kankakee, Decatur, East St. Louis, Calumet, lots of little districts outside of Chicago, where we've given them about 100 teachers. So I feel really good about that. So, because we can relate. I'm like, I was where you were, and I just felt really bad when I came. Sometimes we would have kids with like substitute teachers year after year after year, and I'm like, what? I have to think outside the box. So when you talked about our strategic plan and reimagining our work, just thinking outside the box, and so those are some of the things that we're doing. We have a job apprenticeship program, which is different from how I was trained. When I was trained, I came from the Caribbean, St. Croix, Virgin Islands, from right out of high school to attend Bradley University. And I just stayed. I've been here. I know I started when I was a baby, but I've been here over 40 years, believe it or not. And I just kind of stayed in Peoria, and Peoria has been very, very good to me. And that's why I had, always wanted to give back. And you guys always, I run into you, whether it's at a funeral, at the dentist's office, at the mall, at the grocery store, just saying, you guys have a tough, tough job, but keep on doing what you're doing. You guys are doing a good job, and you continue to motivate me to work hard, very hard for the kids and for our community. And so that's what we've done. And then let's see, we had a meeting to discuss agreements. What's that agreement? On Teams. Oh, we had a meeting with the city manager and the mayor about a project that we're talking about. Then I'm here, and then I have a retirement to go to. I'm over 4 schools as well. I'm over Rolling Acres, Reservoir. That's why I went to the graduation, and I know Mr. Meisinger's grandkids because they attend there. I'm over Liberty and Mark Bills, and so I try to participate in all of their activities, whether it's graduation, retirement, and so forth. Just thanking the teachers. And Yeah, and then there's some other things coming up. So it's never a boring day. It's a lot and it's fun and I still this is my 10th year superintendent and every year I get a every day and I'm always so excited to get to work and help problem solve and continue on the journey to improve for our kids and staff as well. So I brought a flyer because I would like to invite each and every one of you to attend our back to school. Welcome back. I stopped it. We used to do it at at Bradley University Convocation. It's called the Convocation at Bradley University Renaissance Center. And where all the entire staff would convene and we would have celebrations and recognize individuals who, won awards and stuff like that. And I'm like, that day could be better spent because it's just a day that's totally lost. And so we stopped it for a good number of years. And I'm like, okay, we'll try it this coming school year, 25, 26. And I'm inviting you. As I said, it will be at the Civic Center. Our code, our theme is Mission Possible, cracking the proficiency code. And I really want to go hard at that next year, because then, and PPS, we're doing amazing job in lots of areas. But people always compare us with Dunlap and they're like, yeah, look at how their kids are doing academically on the state standardized tests and look at how, they're doing. And so I hear that a lot. And so I said to the team, team, right now for the upcoming year, this is our goal for the upcoming year, increase proficiency by 10% in ELA, you'll get it, ELA, mathematics and science, because sometimes science kind of get left behind. And all the amazing jobs, STEM jobs, that's cybersecurity. The majority of those jobs are science, heavily laden with science background and knowledge. So go 10% for next year, wherever that building is. And of course, Reservoir is amazing because 96 or 98% of their kids are falling into meets and exceeds on that state standardized test. And, just superintendent, lots of reflection, lots of observation. The schools that are faring well, and we have 27 buildings, and they're all very, very different, along with academic outcomes as well. But one of the things I've observed, the ones with high parental involvement, and we know that, the research shows it, they tend to fare very, very well. Right, Andrea? Your kids went to PPS as well. And I wanted to thank Mr. Andrea as well. She, when was it, 2018? The sales tax? 2016, a year after she was actually the mastermind behind all of that, getting PPS to, she ran the campaign with the county because it was our school and the other school districts. Peoria County has 20 school districts in Peoria County, and some of them are very small, 200 kids, 80 kids. Dunlap is the second largest, I think about 4,000 students. PPS, we have 13,254 students when I checked. But it was a lot of hard work. Wanting to thank you for that work because the taxpayers agreed and funded. It was close, 51% to 49%, but we were able to do renovations, HVAC, because when I came in, 33% of the schools were air conditioned. And the conversations we had with community and various groups, Rotary, Chamber of Commerce, is that we would go for a year-round calendar. And we have changed our calendar. School starts, as you see, July, the first day for teachers, July 28th. And so the kids come in the 30th of July. So we're starting earlier to kind of minimize that summer loss, what they call summer slide. And Andrea had a big part to do with that. So thank you so much for assisting with that. It's made a big, big, big difference. All the schools are air conditioned. There are no excuses. So definitely want to share that. So you're invited to that. And Ron Clark is coming, and he is high energy, and it's all about how to engage kids in a meaningful way, relevant way. He's had a lot of success. He created his own academy. All the teachers and administrators love the work that they're doing. They're teaching at grade level or higher, no matter where the kids are. And so our staff, they're really pushing it. So we'll bring him as, I see one of my professors out there. You're welcome to, and bring your students if you're available. And so, yeah, I'm very excited about that. So I'm inviting the community. So that's that. And I'll open it up for questions as well. We have done a lot. When I came back, in Peoria, there was a lot around student behavior, and so we had to sort of, and I talked to the board about that because we're in the process of our first strategic plan. So as I said, this is my 10th year, and so the first year we focused on social emotional supports, and a lot of the behaviors, they're tied to traumatic experiences, adverse childhood experiences, and so we opened up a wraparound center, and so that's going very well. Lots of support, not only for Peoria Public Schools students and families, but for the community as well. They can get counseling. There's a food pantry there, and it's located in the most distressed zip code in Peoria, and actually one of the most in the distress in the state of Illinois. So we're really proud of. They can get legal training, lots of supports there, including job supports, helping them find jobs. If folks are on probation, they can. Probation officers are housed there. So, what I like about Peoria Public Schools is, we serve everybody. We serve, it's just a heterogeneous group, and we have students along the spectrum from, from the super brilliant kids to those that are in need of lots of supports. And like we have the Jameson, we have the life skill kids, we have the Key Foods programs, and then we have the ID, and so it's like just very, very beautiful to see. We do not pick like some schools, private schools, they get to, it's the creme de la creme. We serve everyone, and I just love the work that we're doing. We have the very best staff, I think, around the world that are very, very dedicated. So I like some of the things that I would highlight, and if anyone has questions, feel free to interrupt. Filling the teacher vacancy, I'm really proud of that. The wraparound center, I'm very, very proud of that. Also providing alternative options for our students, realizing one size doesn't fit all. So when I came in 2015, 65% of the kids were graduating from high school. Now it's about 80%. When we're working towards getting that to 90, 100%. Freshman on track was also in the, I think, 74%. It's like 88%. So we're seeing some amazing progress. So now we're going at the IAR, our state, the high stake testing, and I'm just really excited about that. I'm all about a challenge, and and then alternative, just providing alternatives. So we have Woodruff, we've expanded Woodruff. I remember coming back to town and meeting with business folks, and they're like, we want you not only to prepare kids for college, but also to prepare them for careers immediately. So we're doing a lot around certifications and credentialing, and we have the culinary. You probably read about the culinary program. They've had lots of success. There's construction, there's barbering, there's 14 pathways. And lots of support from Caterpillar. We have the manufacturing program at Caterpillar, at Manual. Half the kids go to school half day, and then they go to work at Caterpillar the other half of the day, and they're paid very, very well. Upon graduation, they can either go on and get a bachelor's degree, or they're offered great jobs with great benefits. So I'm really proud of that as well. And then just alternatives, because one size doesn't fit all. Not everyone can head to Richwoods at 7:30. We have about 15 alternative options for students to select from so that they can have success. So no one should really fail because of all of the options that are available at PPS, in my opinion. So I'll just stop there and take some questions. And I did get your email, Reverend Starks, about the chaplaincy, and so we can continue, we've been talking about it for a while. I saw it with one eye,
Okay.
and I'll give it full attention when I get back to the office.
All right, thanks, Dr. Wright. Really good to have you here today. Thank you for
sir.
coming.
Thank you.
I'm wondering, as an educator and administrator, what is your view on AI, and particularly the students' use of it? Do you see this as something that's a game changer for education? And is this something that you would embrace and encourage, or are you thinking it more of a challenge?
Yeah, thank you for asking. I have some individuals on my team, they're not receptive to it, but I am. And ChatGPT is kind of like a thought partner to me. And so I might throw in some things and I'll say, can you make it shorter? Can you, I'll tell her what I want her to do. And you always have to double check because sometimes she just doesn't do what you ask her to do. So, but I think I'm embracing it. It's more efficient, and for sure it saves a lot of time. And this platform that I reference for teachers, like an assistant for them with the lesson planning, they don't have to spend an hour, half an hour, however long it takes, and it can do so much for them. It can say, okay, he's at a third grade level, let's get him, design something just for him. She's at a college level, design something for her, differentiate, do something around standards. I want some project-based learning. Whatever you want it to do, it's really amazing. We have to, so some people think of it as cheating. I think we just have to change what we're asking kids to do, because it is a fact of life. I mean, AI is not going anywhere at all. So we have to teach them how to use it properly and not use it to cheat. I will know. I can tell if a document was written by AI, which I don't like. And I will make a comment about it. I think for the most part, we know, and that's not the purpose. We don't want it to do our work. We just want it to enhance what we're doing, at least for me anyway. Does that make sense?
It does.
So yeah, I mean, so we need to I've been asking for an AI policy and they're pushing back. And so sometimes I just have to say, okay, let's just do it. So we will need an AI policy, but it's really not going anywhere at all. And then some training and supports for teachers. And they've already started dabbling, because that platform, because when the union, we did some tests about morale, and they're like, Doc, there were 3 threats. One was recognition, they want more recognition, and the other one was the workload. And I'm like, okay, the work is from this time to this time. I can't really change your hours necessarily, but I went to a conference and I saw that as a solution and I brought it to them and I thought, what are your thoughts? And I just really turned it over to them and I said, I have, X number of dollars, you can pilot, here's some license if you're interested. And I turned the lady over to them and we got a report today. And then they can also redesign some things as well. So that pilot was led by teachers. So it's all in their hands. Great question. We've had lots of conversations about that. Every school, each school has a school improvement plan. And one of what I've never done this before, so I'm really excited about it. Like number 1, setting a universal goal. Like, okay, all of us as a team, everybody in here, this is what we're going after, okay? With the exception of Reservoir, because Reservoir is already there. So the schools that are exemplary, they sort of get to do really whatever they want to do, but they're doing amazing things. So I just leave them alone and we learn from what they're doing. And so, so we're influencing, because they have to turn in their school improvement plan to the state of Illinois. So number 1, the goal is the same for everybody, increasing those 3 content areas by 10%. And then what I did, I said, okay, how do we move the needle? There are 4 things. Look at your systems, right? Look at learning gaps, look at how parents are involved, right? And then there was another one I'm trying to think. There were four things, and I said, take it back to your teams, your universal teams. Talk to your staff, talk to your teachers, right? And identify one or two things for each one that as a school, you guys are agreeing to, like writing every day. That's, if your kids write every day, because the IAR is a lot about writing, okay, and critical. So if kids get to practice, I remember when I was at Whittier, even the kindergarten teachers, and that was 2000, Miss Cantos and all those people that I went to say hello to at Tree Win and Lincoln, they were with me at Whittier, and I learned a lot from them. They had, even kindergarten, they had the little kids, everybody had a folder. They made manually, now it's more sophisticated. But Miss Cantos, for example, she's like, Dr. Crowd, I wanted you to come and see my kids writing. Kindergartners wrote every day. And then I'm like, the first couple of days of school, I'm like, well, and I was new and young and green. I said, Miss Cantos, I'm just seeing scribbles, because it was half, they took a paper and they put separated it in half, and the kids were writing on the top and then drawing whatever they wrote about. So it was scribble, 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 scribble. And then it got better. And then half, in January, they knew their sight words, the, is, was, all the sight words. And then, third quarter, they are writing complete sentences. And then at the end of the year, it's, you could get a little paragraph even from kindergarten. It has to be done with intentionality and integrity. For us, many of our students need us. And there's this research that says that, and I know a lot, and I talked about the parents and what a difference it makes, but even though, like if you have great parents and a great teacher, the kid can read. If you have great parents, not so good of a teacher, the child can still learn to read. And if you have not so good of a teacher, not so good of a parent, right? And so even without the support, my thinking, even without the support of strong families, we do the right thing, we do research, and we use best practices every day, we will still see progress and improvement. So I've gotten a staff from every school. They did their own, they met with their staff, they decided what it is, what are the practices and strategies. And so I have an executive meeting. I'm with my directors at 7:30. We're actually meeting at Heinz tomorrow. They're welcome to come and listen and observe. It's really interesting. So they have the stats, and then I'm asking them, let's look at the common themes, right? And I'm just reorganizing some things as well, because my curriculum team, to me, they were isolated, the executive, so I'm pulling everybody together, and we're going to focus on like the intensive schools, the comprehensive schools, the targeted schools, the schools that are most in need. So that's going to be the focus for next year. So thank you for asking. And does that strategy, does it seem like we would see something? No. So as a team, every school, because they're all very different. Some of them are writing every day. So I'm interested in kind of looking at the themes for each category. And like even the parents, I gave ideas because I have some great ideas as well. So I said, this is what happens. On the report card, the kids are doing well, but parents don't realize on the state tests, they're not meeting. So they think their kids are doing well. We need to have a conversation about about that with the parents. And then we say, read for 30 minutes and talk to the parents, talk to the children, especially the ones that are struggling, and say, hey, Joe, you're in 4th grade, but you're at a 2nd grade level. This is why we're asking you to read because this is where you are. And I used to do that at Whittier. And if you do that every year, you can go up. There's opportunities for improvement, but you have to, everyone has a part. Parent, kid, you have a part, teachers have a part. So, and they have parent liaison, but instead of doing just this one thing, have the academic conversation with the parents as well. So I kind of shared that with them so that they can rethink and maybe a little shift around the types of conversations they're having with parents and making sure parents know how kids are faring on the state test. I think that's huge. And we don't really focus on that necessarily. We know the data, the teachers know the data, some parents do, but the majority, I mean, the ones that, know what, yeah. Right, Andrea? Because you knew for your kids and whoever else had kids in PPS. So yeah, I'm excited about that. I'm putting all my money in that one.